Good evening, my dearest Sheena. So I am going to do this a little different, starting off with the fact that I'm in my nightgown moo thing, right? Because I am in winter mode. And just know that all my rambling has something to do with whatever comes up during this reading. That's just what I've learned happens. As soon as I go to tap in, it's beyond me. And I don't realize till like part way through the reading, like, oh, that has something to do with it. Except now, because I done figured out the clues and how this works. So we talked a little bit earlier about you just wanting to do the synastry session to see if you was being led down the right path. So maybe this has something to do with that. This is just a reinforcement of your own signs, synchronicities, feelings. Where is my love tag? Here it goes. So I am going to do the synastry. But I'd like to start off because you gave me, excuse me, some throat stuff going on there. Uh, two different charts to pull into. So I'm going to start with, what does Sheena need to know about the guy in chart one? What does she need to know about the guy in chart one? I'm going to do two cards for that. Then what does Sheena need to know about JT? Yes, I've given him a nickname. What does Sheena need to know about JT? All right, so I'm going to start with these, and then I am going to dive in. So, Capricorn, emotionally unavailable, very flirtatious, but he's like, space cadet is what popped in my head. But when I think of a space cadet, this is somebody who's here one moment and the next moment they're like Dory, sort of, kind of. Their attention can't be held for a really long time because they're focused on like something else. So let's see. If it's a Capricorn, he's focused on money. What is the other thing? What is, or where is Cap's focus at this time? Where is Cap's focus right now? I like how two popped up, right? Like two guys at one time because you are being tested. And that's the first thing you told me earlier. Like, hey, just want to make sure I'm not being tested to be let off my path. And then we had all those like random synchronicities in the beginning of this. Uh, me talking about recognizing patterns and learning how the game works. And then that random person to like blurt it out in the hallway. Everything's like Final Destination now. I'm like, oh, what's this? It's a detective mystery every day. And it's amazing and all also mentally exhausting sometimes. Like, can I just not have a sign? This week, I was like, I don't want to watch no spiritual nothing. I don't want, like, no, stop. Just let me be normal for a little bit. So I started only watching one thing, right? It was, or it is Cross. I am obsessed. It's on Prime, but it's a detective thing. It's nothing like any of the other stuff I usually watch, but somehow, even though I'm like trying to avoid the algorithm and like step outside of that, I still picked up a message watching this. It's a detective who has skills that are like superior to the rest of his fellow officers and detectives, right? So a lot of times when he is solving a mystery or he's picking up on patterns or noticing stuff, other people think he's completely insane. He's being paranoid. He's over his head until it gets time for the mystery to be solved. And then he's like, I told y'all I was right. I know how I was right, but it's just my gift. It's just my sense. And that's not, he's not even looking at it in a mystical way or anything. His intuition, and in his case, a psychology degree. He put patterns together to make stuff make sense. That's what I'm getting is happening with you. And while you were able to recognize that he was a dud, I said money, right? When I said he was a cat, what's he focused on? His financial constraints. What's tying him up? His money ain't right. So therefore, he's very flirtatious. He might like having flings and stuff, but he can't ever open up to anybody because he's so busy chasing the paper. Like he'd like to have a intimate connection, but it's nothing really beyond that. So This one would be the dud. And don't worry, I'm gonna go to the charts too, just to show you and back it up and give you all the info so you can make your decisions, but also so you can see how your gifts have been playing out. Because I know that cross thing was also like a little uh what's the word I want to use? Clue. I'll pause for a second because my mom was like, you watched one other thing, tell her the other thing. It was a movie called Parallel, right? So Parallel is about one universe having an entry point through a mirror to another universe that mimics this one. Like they look the same, but there are small changes. But through going through the mirror, sort of a quantum jump thing, they were able to learn stuff about themselves or learn about future things in order to make their lives better on this side of the mirror. You just got two guys that came at you around the same time or around the same wavelength. So this was supposed to be a test. Let's see what it says for JT. You guys are currently not together, or y'all have been separated, or there will be some time when y'all are separated in the future, but you're being asked to have trust or faith in something beyond your sight. So what else does she need to know about this connection? What else does she need to know about this connection? Love and rest and relaxation. Completely different from the energy over here. And in several different ways, right? If we're basing this whole thing on your gifts, and I'm going to look at your chart just because I keep getting that pattern recognition is your strength. Me too, girl. Look at the colors on the guy that wasn't in. You notice how they're darker too? And over here is light. It's love and relaxation, a whole different, a trusting path, right? As opposed to this one, which was unrequited love and stress. So the colors are indicators also. They align with the vibration. There's something about the second one that made you send it, like you had an intuitive ping to back yourself up. But you are walking parallel paths right now. You make a decision which way you're going to go. So let's get to these charts for your parallel journey now. Okay. You know, I got to put my cards up in between because it drives me crazy when they're still out. It's like they're still screaming messages at me while I am doing the rest of the reading. Like, no, go back. Your time is up. I don't need my radio pulled on while I am channeling from your chart. So this one is you and Cap. Make sure I got that right. Yep. I named it your Cap. So your chart is on the inside and his chart is on the outside. Your chart triggers a fated event in his life, which is the vertex. But ooh, I see it, girl. So Nessus is the abuse asteroid. Now it can start off as really intense sexual attraction, and it usually is like overwhelming, like what the fuck is this, right? But over time, it turns into something different if it's not maintained at that vibration. Say you find somebody that is like amazing, obsessively so, like they are everything you've been looking for, but then along the way, like you notice or like other people are attracted to that person. So you start getting a little jealous because like this is your boo thing. Like this is your love. That obsessive energy starts trickling over in that way when somebody's nessus is conflicted or it's having issues, right? The vertex was the first thing I noticed here. Fated event, right? In his case, with it being in Capricorn, it's related to his Saturn. You have your vertex conjunct his nessus, his abuser asteroid, the part of him that makes him act crazy, and it's connected to his Pluto. So sex, orgasms, penetration. Your South Node is directly conjunct his Nessus. This is an abusive ex from another life. Now look at your Nessus in the second house. I'm pointing with my finger like you can see where I'm pointing. Your Nessus. And I'm going to send you this chart. I feel like I just heard you in my head. Like, send me that chart. This is your Nessus, right? Your abuser marker is directly connected to your relationship with source, like with God. Like whenever you're approaching somebody who is problematic in that area, if you will, this could also mean that you've been religiously abused or abused because of your gifts. You're gonna get a ping like, hey, this ain't what you want. It appears that the way he loves and cares for somebody would be the thing that triggered that for you. What I'm sensing is it called devaluing? When somebody raises you up on a pedestal and makes you feel amazing and you think that they're like everything, and then they slowly bring you down like notch by notch. It's like this person would think that you're so great that they just perceive everybody else feels like that about you, and they don't want anybody to feel that way about you or you to ever feel like you can leave. So they go and slowly chisel away at you. I'm going to back this up by the fact that his Mars is in retrograde. He doesn't know how to handle his anger. And his Logos is retrograde. You just did a lot of work to get yours forward working so that you could tap back into source as one of your gifts. It looks like at some point, very possibly with this person, they did not like your relationship with God as being something that was higher than your relationship with them. Like even God made them jealous. Like, oh, she spends all this time praying. It needs to be me she worships. Like that is how dramatic this feels. But so much so that you did start like, I know I'm sex, you say, oh my God. It's like, no, you're like, oh my God, like this person was your God. His son is in your eighth house. That's the heavy house. That's the Scorpio house that triggers all that energy. You see how you're transformed. Your Pluto is right next to you, and you're transformed by every relationship. His union marker is right on that too. Like this person was aimed at you. It's the way I want to say that. Y'all already know each other, but y'all are going in opposite directions. Look, your north node is up here in Taurus. His south node is in Taurus. He's headed towards Scorpio. You're leaving away from Scorpio. You're leaving away from these abusive patterns. You absolutely sneakily told me earlier when you were like, I just want to make sure this isn't an abusive test. No, ma'am. His Saturn is in the seventh house, connected to a past life relationship. That's what his 12th house energy is. He had control issues, perfectionist issues. And when he cares about somebody, it becomes like a noose around their neck. Please also notice that your series, what you need for nurturing and loving, the thing that with him is sort of twisted, that's where he came from with you in the last life. You cared for him. You took care of his feelings and his thought processes, and you just stabilize his thought processes. But it's at the risk of destabilizing yours based upon this. As a matter of fact, the rewrite that you wanted in your chart had to do with this relationship. Uranus and when it touches something else in somebody else's chart is the thing you wanted to rewrite with them. So you being this person's spouse or soulmate is the big change that you wanted in your life. The big change he wanted in his life, who he was as a person. He wanted to be better than the last life. But that's probably why I had to pull cards first, right? Because if I was looking at this, I would have said, oh my goodness, this person used to be your husband. I might not have added, oh no, hold on, I already had the Nessus in here, so I was already tapped in. I would not have judged it as harshly or been able to see like, hey, this person's focused on money right now. No, I wouldn't have been able to see that. I would have seen that this person set themselves up because they wanted another shot with you. They wanted to be a better person in this life. That's based upon the chart, the natal chart, where you started, what you worked with. That's what he wanted for himself, to clear the loop. But as of right now, has he risen above those patterns? No. And I only would have been able to see that through the cards. So his Lilith, which is his dark feminine energy, that thing that turns him on, but also makes him like really upset about females, is your Chiron, your wound from your past life. Is your mouth, your words. He has a problem with women that stand up for themselves, who talk back. is specifically what I'm hearing. And ain't that about a bitch? His Mercury, the way he thinks, his words are in your eighth house. So that means that he was verbally abusive because he doesn't like the way you express yourself. These are all starting factors for where or how this relationship would have started off, because you have to start off where you ended up. So it would start with you being really good, taking care of him, helping him boost his self-esteem and such, getting into the relationship and it looking like it's going really well. But then it would get sort of shifty. Like suddenly you can't go nowhere, you can't talk to nobody, you can't do nothing. All while he's rising up vibrationally, I'm feeling here. But it's off of your energy because you are going up in the right direction where he's leaving from. He's coming down. He's learning difficult things in this life. I guess it's going to take him more than one try because you definitely bring the sexual deviant. But it's like love and lust and love and hate at the same time here. And he also brings out the darker parts of you, things that you've already been through, like somebody giving you issues with money. But this could be like financial abuse, like either he takes your money or he like uses your stuff, or he makes more money and then he doesn't want you to work and then you like can't go nowhere and he's in charge of everything. These are all things that have happened to you in other incarnations, by the way. I'm gonna pull up the composite. Let me move this little ugly shit and see what it says, because that usually nails it for me. The composite is what the pie is supposed to turn out like. If the synastry charts represent the ingredients, the two pieces of separate people come together, then the composite shows what the finished cake is supposed to look like. All right, fifth degree, which is short term first and foremost. Unconscious wound, unconscious ego wound, which makes sense because I said there was some old stuff going on between y'all. So you were going to find yourselves through being in a relationship with each other. South node in seventh, which means coming together as a team, and then north node in first, which is finding oneself individually, coming into your ego identity. But what's that in the first? That's the thing you sacrifice, and logos, your connection with source. In order to be together, there could never be anybody above him, nobody more important, nobody greater. I'm getting like Stepford vibes, but like what the Stepford husbands were expecting of the wives. Like when you come home, or when I come home, you are to be pretty. And dinner or plans are to be made. Like I need to feel like the king of my household. Your Nessus, the abuse marker, is in the seventh house of Gemini. That's mental or verbal abuse in the sign of Libra. Libra rules the seventh house where your south node is. Y'all will be starting off right where you started. And this will be day-to-day control that slowly happened over time. Ain't no way around it. Now, it'd be a transformation of your household. Like it'd be an upgrade, but it'd be like a superficial upgrade. Because there are so many planets reverse. Reverse means the energy does not have an outlet. It has not found an outlet. You guys came together to change what happened in the past, Ripple. But I'm feeling like only you have done a lot of the work necessary to make this happen. So when I pull up this next chart, I'm going to peek in at your chart right quick. Sheena's JT. Let's do this. Okay, so, wrong version. I hate this one. I hate the outer circle one. I need to see all the houses. Here we go. It's probably because I got this meeting panel up here, which I really hate. Okay, so I can't see. I'm going blind. There we go. Like I was going in blind, not going blind. First thing I want to look at is your palace. Your chart is on the inside, his is on the outside. So your unique genius is connected to your drive intuitively. It is like your lead power, like I was saying, pattern recognition based upon your dreams and your synchronicities and the things that you get intuitively. Beautiful. So, I'm so excited for you because it looks like it really, you sending me that second chart was you trying to save yourself. So remember in the last one where I just told you, oh boy's south node was next to your north node and your north node next to the south node. Y'all were going in the opposite direction. Not here. This guy was headed towards your series, towards your nurturing, not away from it, not like it happened in a past life. Y'all have a Saturn conjunction. That's a contract. That's a binding. Still on your vertex, right? Like, is this to you and boy? I'm feeling that could be it too. Like your healing is the turning point for this person. Your healing energy, the way you care for them. And then his healing energy is a turning point for you. That's what thoughtless is. It's the big change in your part. Whatever feelings he had about his value and his self-worth, you calm that. And his healing energy, all the stuff that he has used to make his life better, is the turning point for you. Your healing energy, your Reiki, is actually going to be expanded. Like something about your gifts is going to go when he's around. Because his energy is a partner. His growth and expansion, something that had to happen over time, is going to merge with yours. Like y'all are sending each other the same signals. That's what this Neptune and Neptune is too. Like y'all will get a lot of the same synchronicities and a lot of the same bright ideas. Once again, we got that union and union, but this time it's like y'all are both transformed by the combination. Another one, Juno and Juno, soulmate, and it's in your fourth house of home. Over here. Now, looks like you ain't going to defeat that nessus. Whoever you get with is going to be a spicy connection. But at least in this case, he has Venus in Cancer. That's not you have to keep that stuff in mind. That's not abusive. If anything, that's like mother's mother. Like you take good care of this person, so they will be like, oh my baby. Yeah. Like there's something about their energy, their loving energy that reminds you of yourself. It's giving back what you give out. So he has his own unique genius too in his pattern recognition, but his isn't as easily merged as yours. Like he's been ignoring it his whole life. Like he thought something was wrong with him because of his gifts, is what I'm getting. But you're going to help him overcome that. Y'all are going to heal and help him better understand his stuff together as a team. So his series, his loving healing energy is in your second house. That means he's going to boost your self-esteem as well. That Nessus and Nessus here, it feels different because it's like he's been abused. His ego has been abused. His self-esteem has been abused. But like God came through and saved him. Like he triggers the Christ energy in you. Like when Nessus is healed, it goes from being that perpetrating the abuse that you have suffered to learning empathy for other people who have been through that abuse and other people who abuse people in that way. Like you understand, this happened because A, B, C, and D. Yeah, it makes you more psychological. And that makes sense because his Mercury lines right up all with this energy. His Mercury, his Mars, his Sun, along with his Nessus and his Sophia and his Hecate and his Eros. Like, this is a great thinker. This is a great, like, aura coming off this person. Keep in mind, this was Paul too, the one that said it would be leading you to love and rest and relaxation. That totally makes sense. So let me look at the composite here. Remember, you don't have his time, so we can't see the houses, but I can get a good idea of how your energies will play out together based on the sun inside stuff. But y'all have the sun in Scorpio here, right? Conjunct Pluto. This means y'all will be intensely into each other, which is great, like almost weirdly, like y'all know each other's thoughts and y'all just have your own cool little club together. It's like Bella and Edward. Like everybody knows about their relationship, but they just whisper to each other. They know stuff. And that's backed up by the Mercury that you have in Libra, which is a partnership sign, but at the 20th degree. Y'all know everything, but y'all know like all these sort of secrets together. The moon is in Yeshua, so your home will be very, very peaceful, very sparked. Is the best way I can say that. Yeah, like on fire for Christ together. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I'm feeling. Like y'all are taking the rest of the journey together, and or you could. This is a possibility. You have to make the decision. Like I said, two paths, but this is two becoming one energy. Look how many things you have at the first degree of self: union, Neptune, and Jupiter. This is coming back into alignment with the crown. and helping other people who have been through hard stuff. So y'all are gonna overcome any stuff that is still like lingering within either one of you guys about getting into a real relationship, and then learning the value of that to share. Your North Node in Taurus says rest and relaxation and peace. Next to arrows that says sensual vibes and relaxation and peace. Next to the Venus, that's learning your value, that's building wealth together. Having your palace or your unique genius be at the 29th degree, like a final exam. Are y'all able to find this, follow the signs and find each other? Is the turning point here. The 29th degree is the big finale. And you guys have it as individuals to turn into one and then to build something completely separate. Like your own timeline, like whatever you want going forward, just as long as y'all remain on the same page. So the choice is yours, dearie. Have a good day.